Hello everyone, welcome back to Power Star Japan, and thanks for watching another video. Legend of Zelda series producer Eiji Aonuma did an interview recently with IGN, and he talked about some pretty interesting points. One of those that you may have seen already is how he's questioning why people want to return to the linear style of the older Zelda games. He says, well, I do think we as a people have a tendency to want the thing that we currently don't have, and there's a bit of a grass is greener mentality, but I also think that with the freedom players have in the more recent games in this series, there still is a set path that just happens to be a path that they choose. So I think that is one thing I kind of like to remind myself about the current games that we are making. But also it's interesting when I hear people say those things, because I'm wondering, why do you want to go back to a type of game where you're more limited and more restricted in the types of things or ways you can play? But I do understand that desire that we have for nostalgia, and so I can understand it from that aspect. And when I looked at different comments online, people said, well, it's not that we want to be restricted or it's nostalgia, it's just that I prefer that style of game. And I can see where people are coming from too, but I think in Nintendo's case, it's going to be a little while before they change course. Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild have been fantastic achievements for them. Personally, they're some of my favorite games, so I can see them sticking with this formula for a little while, and they'll probably incorporate little bits of things. Here in particular, they were talking about the dungeons actually coming back, because in Breath of the Wild, what they did was they wanted to destroy the conventions of Zelda, and so with Tears of the Kingdom, they kind of slowly trickled some of those elements back in, such as the detailed dungeons, which I'm a big fan of. I gotta say, fantastic. The interview is really interesting, so I highly recommend it. I'm going to link it in the description, and there's spoilers, so please be careful. If you don't want the game spoiled, don't check it out. He also talks about the chronology of the game, and the interviewer points out how they had trouble connecting it, but Aonuma's basically like, who cares? And I tend to agree with that. I'm not really a big Zelda timeline guy. My thing with Zelda is, it already doesn't feel like an overarching series anyway. We have 3 set characters, Link, Zelda, Ganon. That's it. And in fact, I think it's more interesting that they do these sub-series and they have sequels that way, rather than, okay, the whole series is connected and that's it. And that's why with this loose continuity, we're able to get these cool sub-series, and now the main series is Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and then probably there's going to definitely be a sequel, I'd imagine, for this. The cel-shaded Zelda games, those all follow kind of Wind Waker and this other sort of thing. The Link to the Past, the Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, which leads into Twilight Princess. Not having them all directly connected is fine. I think that's okay. Mario doesn't connect things together anyway, and who cares? And Aonuma's not alone here. He's with Hidemaru Fujibayashi, and he was the director of the game. And it's also interesting hearing his point of view on things. So, like I said, check the article out. They dive into things like YouTube's effect on the game, and how people are uploading videos of making Godzilla and all these creations and how cool it is. Definitely check it out, but I'm curious, what do you all think? Are you upset that they're not going back to a traditional linear 3D Zelda game, or is this the way of the future and this is what we have to accept? Bigger is better. Let us know in the comments below, and we'll catch you in the next video. Take care.